Sorry about that, Jailin. You had to kind of put off the Australia-New Zealand City Kickboxing Hit Tour. Was that disappointing?
Nah, it's not disappointing at all. Yeah, it is what it is.
You end up with Mateusz Gamrot, though, who, I mean, obviously from a rankings perspective, maybe not as well known maybe as Hooker, but from a rankings perspective, a more important fight. Does this feel like a bigger fight, a bigger matchup for you?
Yeah, it definitely feels a lot bigger to me. You know, he's ranked above me, so inevitably, it's more important.
Definitely. A style change, though, right? I mean, I guess what I want to know is how much change did you have to make yourself in preparation? Like, was this a major impact to you, or at this point in your career, do you just kind of stick to what you do?
I stick to what I do. You know, I always just try to execute my own game plan, not to worry about my opponent too much. But in preparation for this fight with Hooker, I was anticipating him trying to take me down anyway. So it kind of all played together pretty well.
Very nice. Last thing for me, I mean, you've been on this upward trajectory, but here we go, main card, top 10 matchup, you know, I mean, 6 straight wins, you walk out of here. I mean, what's the goal here? Are you start calling out numbers, you start calling out names? What's the plan after this?
Man, the plan is just get this one over with first, get the hand raised, get that 6th consecutive finish, and then we see what the company wants me to do after that.
Jailin, over here. I saw an interview where you said that your ultimate goal is you're chasing greatness. Is Gamrot, a win over Gamrot, does that get you further, closer to that than a win over Dan Hooker would have had you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. A lot sooner. Because I feel like, the last question that people want to answer is, oh, how's Jailin's grappling? How's this? How's that? So, a victory over Mateusz would definitely solidify a lot of those doubts in people's mind about my grappling accolades and my takedown defense. So, I'm ready for the challenge.
He came in with a lot of hype in the UFC. He was a champion, KSW and stuff. Were you aware of him before he signed for the UFC and started to climb?
No.
Hey, Jailin, just back here. I got a fun one for you. I hear you're into astrology and zodiac signs, and I'm wondering if you were able to look at your opponent's astrology sign and learn anything about him.
Nah, I don't look at zodiac signs for opponents.
Maybe you should. You're into zodiac signs, correct?
Yeah, I am, but not for opponents. I mean, mainly for compatibility with friends and family, or maybe relationship stuff, but that's it.
So you've never looked into it before you accepted a fight or thought about a certain time of the month you're fighting or anything like that?
Never thought of that at all, but I'm definitely going to look into that. That might make some sense.
Well, he's a Sagittarius, so look it up backstage.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm a Taurus, so the bull's coming.
Thank you.
Hey, Jailin, back here, brother. What did you think after Drew Dober called you out last year and then he didn't take the opportunity to jump on this fight?
I honestly don't even really want to speak on that too much because he's not here. He didn't step up. So why would you say somebody's name if you're not going to step up? I'm not going to say nobody's name unless I feel like I could beat them any day of the week. That's just how I feel. That's how I roll. As you see, I don't say too many people's names at all because, that's just not me, but I don't know. Then it just makes you look like I ain't gonna say no profanity, but it just makes you look a little softer if you get the opportunity to fight me and then you don't take it because you need more time for whatever you need, more preparation, more to co-wait, whatever the hell it is. It makes you look weak. And then even when he called me out, he just kept talking about Michael Chandler. Oh, Michael Chandler fight this, Michael Chandler fight that. He didn't really want to fight me. He didn't want these problems, like he said. He didn't.
Hey, Jailin, over here. In your fight with Dan Hooker before it got canceled, you opened up as a favorite. Now with the Gamrot fight, you're an underdog. First time you've been an underdog in quite a while. Kind of curious your opinion on how you feel about that.
I'm always underdog in my mind. It don't make a difference to me. Shoot, if you're a betting man, bet some money.
Love to hear that. And then last question, speaking of a betting man, main event, John Jones fighting for the first time in a while. If you were allowed to put some money down, who would you take?
You can't bet against John, man. You just can't.
Jailin, back over here. In 6 of your 9 fights in the UFC, you've been on pay-per-view. The UFC's put you on a numbered card. Well, what do you think that says to you, and what do you think the UFC thinks of you?
That I'm an exciting fighter and I can sell out fucking arenas one day. I don't have to talk and use the gift of gab. I just let my skills pay the bills and just keep finishing these fighters.
And then just one final one for me. When you're training dogs, has a dog ever bit you on accident?
Yep, my own dog has bit me on accident. I got a scar on my leg from it, but I still love that motherfucker.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Hey, Jailin, way back here. Jailin, obviously you've always stood out, but these last few fights, you've just obviously really just leveled up, so to speak, in a lot of fans' minds. What do you think has clicked in these last several fights that maybe didn't earlier in your career?
Man, a lot has clicked in the octagon and outside of the octagon. I got with my coach Ozzy. He helped my grappling a lot, and then me and Anthony, we've been undefeated, having him in my corner. I just got better versed in the coaching aspect. I got better coaches around me, and my mindset just changed. I just look at it as like just the clock's ticking, so I take everything importantly and take everything into accountability, and I just love it on my training. I've always been kind of a talented guy, so I kind of relied on my talent, and now I just started to work a little bit harder, so it's paying off.
I know obviously you talked about this is a bigger fight. Just looking at the division and the fact that you didn't get to fight Dan Hooker, was part of you wanting Volkanovski to win? That way you could kind of complete that circuit of the Australian fighters at lightweight?
Man, you know what? Like, I ain't got nothing against the Australians. Like, none of those dudes. Like, it just was what it was. Like, they kept stepping up to fight me. I kept stepping up to fight them. And honestly, like, the main reason why I called out Dan is because I wanted to fight on the Perth card. I wanted to go back to Australia, but it is what it is.
Thank you.
That's it. All done.
Yeah, Jill. One last question about the main event. What is your opinion about Jones and Gain? Who is your favorite?
I like both the guys. I trained with John a long time ago when I was an amateur, so I know him personally. Gain is a good guy. I'm really excited to see him showcase his skills too. But I'm not gonna go against John. It is what it is. Thank you guys.